Yes, yes, yes. Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to
The Chiss Ascendancy.
episode 35. We made
Big
it.
3-5. We made it.
Hey, so we've been waiting on this specific episode for quite some time. That Mandalorian trailer we've been promising for months and months finally delivered. Now I kind of know how it feels to be the company that ships something and is like, we don't know, the U.S. Postal Service sucks. Because we've been promising, don't worry guys, the trailer's coming out eventually. And
Eventually.
So now it's here. And so today we're doing, we're going to watch the trailer just by itself. And then we're going to do kind of a frame-by-frame breakdown. We've been waiting forever for this. There is some newsy news, though, before we start. On my just usual everyday Star Wars research, it has been, I guess this is a semi-spoiler. It was severely hinted at, but
Semi-close your ears.
yeah, that's funny. Okay, so this is a spoiler for Season 2 of The Mandalorian, so if you don't want to hear it...
I'm not typically a spoilers kind of guy. Like, I usually do my utmost to avoid it, but I think this is worth knowing.
It's worth knowing, and it's not a spoiler of actual content.
Yeah, no events are ruined.
Right.
No content is released.
Okay, so showcast.com.au, short for Australia, is the company, or one of the companies that helps an actor by the name of Temuera Morrison. That's kind of the agency that that's the area that his agency rolls through to kind of put his information out there, height, weight, eye color, what roles he's done in the past and stuff.
Who doesn't know though?
Right, exactly. So to get him future jobs. So as of a few days ago, Showcast.com has a credit on his whatever you want to call it portfolio for 2020 on the television series The Mandalorian, playing the role of Boba Fett. Officially, at least semi-confirmed. His own agent's the one that put it online, though, so that's pretty much a dead giveaway. I could not be more happy with this news.
If this is a trap, I'm going to be very upset.
If this is a trap, this is the most elaborate trap since the Death Star #2 over the forest moon of Endor, because it's like a third-party site that his agent put up there. So, who knows, man? But it seems like that's the real deal. It seems like it's really happening. And so, Temuera Morrison, for those of you who don't know, he played Jango Fett in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. He's the template dog. And so, he's going to be back playing Boba Fett, and I can't wait.
It's going to be sick.
Oh, man.
I'm pretty excited for it.
Dude, I can't wait for him to... I hope that he at least says one line from the original Battlefront 2. Like, if he does something and he just says, when do I get paid? That would be sick.
That would be cool.
Crap, I get his lines mixed up because he voices Jango and Boba in that game. I think Jango is the one that says, 100, 200, 300. You guys are going to make me rich.
Yeah, anyways, I think that is Jango.
Anything he says is going to be dope.
Sick.
So, like I said, here's what we're going to do. We've been working on some new tech to try to make this happen for you guys. So first, we're just going to do a pure listen and watch through the Season 2 trailer.
Yep.
And then after that, we'll do a breakdown and just kind of give some speculation. Speculation is one of my favorite parts of Star Wars, right before I get disappointed. No, but it's going to be awesome, so stay tuned, and we're going to break this trailer all the way down. Episode 35.
Break it wide open.
Yeah, that.
I don't know what I'm referencing. It's something, though.
It's something. It's... All right, the trailer's finally here. Christmas time. time is here. Except for instead of a terrible small tree, it's an actual trailer for The Mandalorian Season 2. Roll film.
Show me the one whose safety deemed such destruction. You must reunite it with its own kind.
Where?
This you must determine. The songs of eons past tell of battles between Mandalore the Great and an order of sorcerers called Jedi.
You expect me to search the galaxy and deliver this creature to a race of enemy sorcerers?
This is the way.
You know this is no place for a child. Wherever I go, he goes. So I've heard. This is the way.
It's still good every time. Still fresh. Well, man, it was so tough for me not to just give all my thoughts the whole time. So, we'll watch it again, and then we can pause, we can talk over it or whatever. We can just pause. Man, it's the first thing that I really noticed is something silly, but we'll get to that in a second. Okay. Open this bad boy back up again. Back to the beginning. Okay. Nope.
It's funny having you do this side of things.
What do you mean?
Usually I do it. It's like riding shotgun when you're usually the driver.
Is it nice? Is it a bumpy ride?
From a certain point of view.
All right, so here we go.
I know. He's me.
We'll do it again, and then pause. All right, so we're over some kind of a planet. My initial thought is Tatooine.
Looks like Jupiter. There's Earth.
Here's my thing.
No?
To me...
Solar system jokes?
Yeah, that was funny. So here's the thing. Are those two different planets, or is one a moon of another one?
Is there another one? It looks like two planets to me. Typically, moons don't have so much personality, but, I mean, it's Star Wars.
But there's Forest Moon of Endor.
Right, that's why I said, but it's Star Wars.
Right, I'm just thinking.
Force a moon.
Could be things that we know, could be things that we don't know yet. But my thought was, what if this is Yavin in the far distance, and this is the moon of Yavin? But, if this is Yavin in the foreground, and then the moon of Yavin. But Yavin and New Hope is so much more red than this. So my thought is maybe it's just Tatooine. I don't know. The Razor Crest looking rough.
It's seen better days.
It's seen better days.
That bay door is swinging wide open.
I know.
If you're ever driving down the highway and you see a Honda Civic with like the trunk popped open,
they've got a whole refrigerator in there.
There's things going wrong there.
Yeah.
There's things going wrong there.
Hold it together with bungee cables. Yeah.
Tie something red on it. It's not illegal if there's something red tied to it.
I heard a comedian say, my mom growing up thought Vicks cured everything. Of like throwing up, put Vicks on. Put some Vicks on that bay door. Come on, Din Djarin. That's sick. Mongolian throat metal.
Show me the one whose safety deemed such destruction.
So all the quotes in here, just to clarify, this is from the end of season 1.
Right.
So this is not new speech besides stuff towards the very end. And I say that because something important happens in a second.
You must reunite it with its own
My
kind.
memory is failing me, but it looks like the planet that a lot of Ahsoka's arc takes place on before she goes to Mandalore.
Well, that's on Coruscant.
After that, though. With
In
the,
season 7?
Yeah, with the Pikes, is it? That she's rescuing those sisters from.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about? It looks like this when you first see
Man.
Mandalore, kind of like watching her. You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about?
I can't remember either. I would want to say Kessel, but Kessel doesn't look like this. The child, Mandalore walking down the street.
Where?
Okay, this is really funny to me because she's like, there's a, you need to take him to his people. Mm-hmm. And the way that the trailer is timed, it looks like this bantha is going, where? Look, I'll just rewind by 2 seconds. So we're at 37 seconds, so if we go back...
You must reunite it with its own kind.
Watch the bantha's face.
Where?
This you must determine.
I've been waiting to make that joke for like a week and a half.
The songs of eons
Okay,
past
so something interesting.
Yeah?
Hold on, I'll let her... Hold on.
tell of battles between Mandalore the Great and an order of sorcerers called Jedi.
Okay, so she's talking about a battle between Mandalore the Great and the Jedi. And they're on kind of a snowy planet.
Yeah. Ilum?
It's probably not this, but in the
Ooh, I know what you're
Revan
gonna
book,
say. Yeah.
Revan kills Mandalore the Great, and he takes his mask and he hides it in a glacier on a snow planet. Mm-hmm. So just the timing makes me think if he's going looking for like Mandalorian relics, trying to trace, where the Jedi might have been.
That would be the deepest cut.
It would be super dope. I'm like 98% sure they're not going to do it, but it would be sick.
Also, on this frame right here, can we talk about how this young person right here has a fish tank backpack? Look, as they're walking,
Is
it's
that
like
Minion from
slosh
from freaking Megamind?
Yeah. Going off the rails on the crazy train, sir. That's him. My assumption is we're on Mon Cala right here, because you've got this is Corran fishing village,
there are a lot
and
of
it looks like right here on the left. Use my little mousy mouse here. These look like Mon Calamari, possibly. Here's the fish backpack.
A lot of Corran.
And a lot of Corrans here.
There's also a Mon Cal over here.
Mon Cal right here.
Yeah.
Corran, typical back of their head, and you know what's back there. 2 grapefruits. You look up the back of a Corran's head and tell me what you see, listeners
It's
back
like
home.
a baboon's backside.
Very cool. Okay, so
You expect me to search the galaxy and deliver this creature to a race of enemy sorcerers?
okay, the reason that I talked about the voiceovers from last season, the reason that's important to me is because this character that we just see in the black robe, I don't think that's a Jedi. So a lot of people are like, oh, he's talking about an enemy race of sorcerers. That must be this person on screen. And it's very misleading because of the timing of the talk and
Well, and I don't know. She could be a Force user, but from what we know,
the heavy speculation is that is...
there are not a lot of adult Jedi in the galaxy at this point.
Correct. Not only are there not a lot of... This is only 5 years after Return of the Jedi. So in Legends, there was a lot of... you have a character named Kyle Katarn, who is a Force-sensitive stormtrooper. He defects, ends up being one of the strongest Jedi Masters in the Order by the time period of what we have is the sequel trilogy now. That's not happening a lot in Disney Star Wars.
Right.
So
the only stormtroopers I know of that defect in this particular era would be the guy that just really had it out for the Dewback Riders because he really wanted a Dewback and he defected and stole a Dewback and ran off into the wilds with it.
Yeah. So this character is played by what's her name? Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks.
She's a pro wrestler. I know absolutely nothing about pro wrestling, so I don't even know if she's a good actress or not. But because she's a wrestler, I have to assume she has some kind of acting ability. Ooh, zing. But the rumors...
UFC fans here.
Real fighting fans here. Bye, ferrets. My understanding is that Sasha Banks, it's rumored to be playing the character Sabine Wren, which is a Mandalorian female from the show Star Wars Rebels.
Overrated. What?
I didn't hear anything. I am a little booty hurt that we're probably going to see Ahsoka and Sabine live action before we see my boy Thrawn. You know?
Don't get me started.
Don't get me started. Next week we'll talk about Thrawn, though, and it'll be right.
Yes, we finally finished the book.
It was great.
I have a lot of thoughts.
Okay, so he's got to reunite it with its own kind. Enemy sorcerers. Black hooded girl disappears.
Mudhorn clan.
Mudhorn clan.
This
Okay,
is
check
the way.
this out. So they're on Mount Cala. They're on a fishing boat. Very. Okay.
What does that remind you of, the boat?
I don't know.
Reminds me of the Dooku book, Jedi Lost. Mm-hmm. It talks about how he has like an actual boat.
Yeah, I can't think of a time.
And how much of a flex that was.
Have we seen an actual boat before?
We kind of saw a boat in Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, yeah, kind of that skiffy thing. Mm-hmm. And then, hey, you know what's really cool? Even if you're not a fan of The Last Jedi, there was a lot of really cool visual stuff. And remember when they're on Canto Bight and they're on that, basically like that boat casino? And it goes over the edge. And I was like, they're going over the falls.
And it just starts
I
going.
lost it over the falls.
It's very Treasure Planet.
And yeah, it just keeps going. That was a cool visual. And then you had Joseph
That was
Gordon.
a good idea.
That is a good idea. And I stand by. You have Joseph Gordon-Levitt was the guy who voiced the Abenito, the little catfish-looking dude that was like, they parked right here on the beach. So that was cool. Here's a little nugget for you. 2 X-Wings escorting the Razor Crest. Now, is it you're under arrest, you're being escorted, or is it, hey, we're helping you take the child to Luke Skywalker, we're escorting you?
Yeah. Or
Now, that would be sick.
What else it might be is kind of a like a touchback to, was it episode 6? When they had, it was kind of more of a filler episode with the prison barge. Because
yeah, maybe 6.
X-Wing pilots would have seen the Razor Crest leaving the scene.
Right.
And they kind of let him go at the time, but...
Well, also, here's something that I don't know if you picked up. See right here on, this is what's called an S-foil. I'm really geeking out today. On the S-foils of the X-Wing, to the right of the Razor Crest, the left of your screen, right here, these little barbershop blue lines. You know whose X-Wing that is?
Would it be Wedge?
Nope. The greatest Jedi of all time, Luke Skywalker. In
Is
Star
that
Wars...
unique to his?
Mm-hmm. In Star Wars A New Hope, George Lucas put the blue barbershop pole on Red 5 so that you could see your hero's ship. So it was kind of like, I think one of it was to help film stuff. You know, hey, we're focusing on this one. And I think it was also kind of an Easter egg to be like, now when you're watching the movie, you know which one's Luke when they're in a squadron. So obviously, could they add, you know, this could be a random X-Wing anywhere, and they could add that, but let me tell you right freaking now, if Luke Skywalker shows up on The Mandalorian, I'll do a whole episode shirtless.
We're all excited to see it.
That's more of a threat than a promise, I guess, for you, those of you watching. Okay. Anyways, I'd be excited is what I'm trying to say.
See, now it looks more like a Daki.
Are they,
Also, if he's trying to get away,
not happening? Well, especially if the goat's in one of those
that's what I'm saying.
cockpits.
If Luke is in one of those bad boys.
Now, here's what it could be. It could be someone else is coming for the child. I still think that this is going to be... I think that they'll move the story along, but I do think that it's still a possibility that they will... People are still coming for the child. Mm-hmm. Still high on the market. So it could be, hey, we'll escort you. Someone shows up to try to get him, and when those X-Wings open up, that's an attack thing. I like how you said the word attacky. That was funny. Beautiful. This looks like... Okay, I want to talk about this a little bit.
Oh my god, here we go.
Okay, so... Alright, here's some speculation. Like I said, it's what we're here for.
That's what one of us is here for.
Speculation's fun. One time people thought Kylo Ren was Luke. That'd be a fun fanfic. Okay, so you have desert planet, my guess, Tatooine.
The only one.
So here's the other thing. One, did that bantha look small to you?
Salt.
Shut up. Did that bantha look small to you at the beginning?
No, he was big enough to ride.
Okay, well, yeah, obviously. But if you watch episode 4, when they're like, "Hey, let's get out of here," there's 2 Tuskens.
Sir, droids.
There's 2 Tuskens per bantha. There's 2 Tuskens per bantha, and that bantha is huge. And the one that he's
an actual elephant.
Right. So this is definitely. I was kind of sad because you can tell by the movements it's not a real elephant.
Did you know that there's a species of desert elephant? They're just called desert elephants. There's not a lot of them left.
Wow. You get a little bit of everything on this podcast, folks. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends.
Star Wars facts, nature facts, deep cut references to childhood films you've never seen.
Whatever you like.
We got it all.
Okay, so here's the high speculation for me, okay? Mm-hmm. So you're on a desert planet, I assume Tatooine.
Probably, yeah.
The Mandalorian is on a speeder bike, and it's a stretch. Hear me out, okay? Right here looks a little bit like Boba Fett's jetpack. And right here
What he means is that it's shaped like a rectangle, and part of it's green.
2 things that can also be attributed to Boba Fett's jetpack. I'll keep going. Right here, definitely looks like it could be a Mandalorian helmet. Could be Boba Fett's. Okay, here's my
Could be a
thought.
saddlebag.
Here's my thought.
Could be a nursery.
Maybe it's not. Who cares? Hey, you did the deep cut. Hey, the Revan novel that doesn't exist in canon anymore. They could be on that snow planet, so get the freak out of here. So here's my thing. We know Boba Fett's back. We know that Tamura Morrison's playing Boba Fett, and we know from the Aftermath series that it's a very high chance that Boba Fett's armor is being worn by someone else, Cobb Vanth, the lawman of the West,
Pretender.
the Spirit of the West, the guy that Timothy Olyphant's playing.
Not Clint Eastwood.
So what if this? This is just, I'm just shooting here. The Mandalorian seeks Boba Fett's help. And Boba Fett is the kind of guy to be like, I don't do anything for free, but I'll work for a favor. So what if he's like, hey, sure, I'll help you, but there's something that belongs to me. You bring it back to me, and I'll help you. Because I was talking to my buddy Skeleton Astronaut the other day, and he said one of the things he enjoys about The Mandalorian is that the whole series is basically like a video game. And then once every couple episodes, you get a boss. So he's like, once every couple episodes, you beat up an AT-ST. Then you have to, now use your newly acquired jetpack to chase down this TIE fighter. Like, that's kind of how the season 1 went, So what if it's, hey, go talk to this guy over here. Turns out it's Boba Fett. Oh, before you can help him, you have to track down his armor. Very video game style. Just a thought. So it'd be really cool if that was the case. I would like to see them work together a little bit. So we'll see. I can definitely see Boba Fett getting ticked off though that there's another Mandalorian on the prowl.
I mean, Mandalorians kind of stick together.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. It would be interesting if, in the Clone Wars, there's that part where Boba Fett's, he sneaks on and he's kind of the clones within the clones. Mm-hmm. And they're like, we have brothers. And he's like, I'm not your brother. It gives Neil Conor McGregor, doesn't want to be friends with anyone else.
When you're 35, I'm going to be 12.
Exactly. Right? Dude. You might get the ladies first, but I'll have them for longer. So it'd be interesting if the Mandalorian said this is the way, and Boba Fett was like, I don't give a freak about this is the way.
Like test tube sheep, they can't reproduce.
Yeah.
Do you think clones are impotent?
Not according to Star Wars Legends.
Oh yeah, I guess they had their babies.
But again, that's Legends, and in Legends, here's a little tidbit for you. In Legends, you can't, at least
it's canon actually that they can reproduce. There's that episode where they had the defector.
Oh, you're right. In Clone Wars. In Legends, a Twi'lek and a human can't crossbreed.
Well, we just whizzed all over that theory and with the defector clone.
Right. But yeah, so interesting.
Little half-head tail babies. What if one of them only one side grew out?
Oh. It's one head tail from their forehead. like a trunk out of the front of their face. I hate head tails. It's coarse and irritating and it gets at everything.
Just out there like a freaking anglerfish trying to find love.
Dude, that would suck.
More nature documentary references.
You walk up and you're just like, what's up, buddy? And you just slap their freaking head, face,
Fresh
tail.
cut.
Okay, so there's my speculation. This could be Boba Fett's jetpack / helmet
I agree, it is green.
on the back. Could be. We'll see.
Could be a nursery.
You know, the Cobb Vanth character is definitely not a fan of bounty hunters, at my guess. You know what I mean?
He's not a fan of anybody who's not frontier justice.
Yeah. So I can see he almost becomes like a thorn in the side of the Mandalorian, and Boba Fett helps him get rid of him or something. I don't know. It'd be cool.
Perhaps.
I do wish that the Mandalorian was more. He definitely sides with the good guys every episode of season 1. It would be cool to see him do some Mandalorian whatever's best for me stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's probably soft now that he's got a kid.
He's freaking soft. Softy. Okay, here we go. Reunited with Greef Karga and Cara Dune, both wearing new outfits. The super dope TIE fighter with the folding wings.
Yeah, there's multiples of them now.
Bunches of them now.
And I'm not sure how I feel about that, because when there's something special, I like it to be... I like there to
Yeah,
be
I would have liked it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because now it's like, oh, less
I would have
special.
liked it for it's just his.
Right.
Moff Gideon's. I don't know, who knows, maybe he's a collector. Hey, would you go pick up one of my 4 TIE fighters and get us some lunch? Running through the hallway of a Star Destroyer is my guess.
Yeah, it looks very Imperial.
And I love the camera angle
It's got
here.
the Imperial geometry going on.
Very stage cam. Get it from the lower angle for worship.
Good work today, David.
Yeah, shout out to David. Good job. But this is very cool. Stormtroopers. I do like that there's still an Imperial remnant. That's one of my favorite parts of Star Wars Legends, so I like to
Apparently
see
it's
that in canon.
still very strict because that armor's very shiny.
Yeah, I agree. Well, also, there's that picture that came out that we talked about a little while ago from Entertainment Weekly, and it really looks like Moff Gideon's on the bridge of something. And so I can see this being his Star Destroyer, where he's like, you know what I mean? He's still, it's kind of like in the original Thrawn trilogy, or the Empire trilogy, it's like Thrawn's fleet is still very much, we're still the
alive.
Empire. And I like, nice Harry Potter reference. I do like also that Thrawn refuses to call it the New Republic. He's like, yeah, we're in a fight with the rebellion still, because in his mind the Empire is still going.
Yeah.
So you can't have an Imperial and a New Republic at the time. Very cool. So they're running down this hallway. This is one of the coolest shots in the whole freaking thing.
It's pretty cool.
You've got so if you pause it,
You got the Imperial speeder version of the boat from Canto Bight.
there's obviously some dead stormtroopers right here. So there's already
This
been
looks
some.
like, and you wouldn't know this because you didn't play the game, but this looks very much like a map that's in
Fallen Order? Oh, really?
It would be on, what's that planet? The one with it felt like Dagon Portal. Spacing out.
Brain fart. I don't know.
Oh, brain fart.
It'll come through.
That's a cool planet.
It'll come through, and I'm not trying to remember it.
Oh, that's funny. One time, a friend of mine, when he was a little kid, they're at the museum, and he's asking his mom what the different kinds of dinosaurs it was. And he was like, Mom, what kind of dinosaur is this? And she goes, heck if I know. And he goes, okay, heck if I know. Like, that was the name of the
Zepho.
dinosaur. Zepho?
Yeah, it looks like Zepho.
Very cool. I'm here for it.
That'd be a cool reference.
I do really like the foot drift here. I like that the speeders, if you drop them hard enough, they hit the ground.
Yeah.
You know?
You know this is no place for it.
Drifter.
Little toe drag action, that's cool.
And
Who
then
do we have coming out of the water there?
the Mandalorian.
Is it him?
Yeah. See his helmet?
Yeah.
Also, I heard that this looks similar to a scene from Fallen Order.
Yeah, there's a flooded corridor scene in Fallen Order.
So,
For a child.
gets to use the jetpack. And he's going...
He's jetting.
And then also, this is a very, very interesting... I'm glad it paused right here. This is a very interesting scene.
This guy hanging upside down?
Yeah, this guy's hanging upside down, and I can't tell what that is.
A lynching?
Like, what? Yeah, who's getting strung up here? And it's interesting because I heard one other podcaster say that maybe it's a Tusken. So if that's a Tusken, then maybe this is a...
No, it's not a Tusken.
Well, all these robes are falling upward. So if... Who knows if... You know what I'm saying? We're seeing the pant underneath whatever robes are being
It just doesn't look
pulled
Tusken
up.
to me.
I agree,
Color
but
scheme's all wrong.
it's a weird combination. But I do love the Star Wars graffiti here. Right here,
Very
probably
city planet.
this right here looks very much like a First Order Stormtrooper helmet, but obviously it wouldn't be. Over here, man, here's a trooper helmet graffiti right there. I would not be shocked if Dave Filoni directed this episode if there's like a Lothcat somewhere. But a bunch of stuff. It's very cool. I don't know where they filmed this.
Yeah, what if Mando's doing a little, Spider-Man action?
Yeah, they're filming in Portland, apparently. This place has been shot to heck. Wow. And so it looks like he's shooting this person down, helping them down. So maybe this is a good guy character. Or a friend.
He's still alive.
Wherever I go, he
Wherever I go, he goes.
Very cool.
Yeah, this is sick.
I love the concept of, like, Gamorrean
Rewinding.
gladiator boxing.
Wherever I go, he goes. It's when he's walking in right here.
You know what this reminds me of, this scene?
Maybe it's earlier in the trailer, but it looks like they're walking into a Jedi temple on an ice planet, almost kind of where like
There
Ilum.
is a Jedi planet, or a Jedi ice planet temple in Fallen Order as well.
Is it Ilum?
Maybe. Yeah.
Ilum's on the list. And then in the Clone Wars, remember the episode where the younglings get their crystals? Mm-hmm. That's on Ilum.
Yeah, that's what I figured. It was the same. I couldn't remember the name from the episodes, though.
Walking into the...
wherever.
It looks like he's just in the middle of nowhere, but this is a very deceiving frame because we have no clue what's on the outside of all this.
It looks like the ice cave in Snow Dogs.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe Cuba Gooding Jr. is in there. And his
Ripping a
career
dog's
is...
tooth out
His
with
career is
their
always
pliers.
also in there. Lost.
I go, he goes.
Maybe he's listening to the radio.
Falling into atmosphere. So this to me is...
No.
I didn't hear what you said.
Yes, maybe he's in there listening to the radio.
With a...
Sitting in a shopping cart.
With a... Oh. Maybe his friend's in there with a stiff hand that is directly proportional to a canteen to hold your whiskey in.
Oh, R.I.P. Dad.
R.I.P. Knockoff Count Dooku character guy. Each before he feeds his dogs. This looks right here in frame. The Razor Crest is falling into atmosphere and it's on fire. Very similar to Still Flying Half a Ship from episode 3.
Yeah, very similar to anything falling in Atmo.
And also the asteroids from the beginning of Dinosaur that destroyed the island.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, this looks like a continuation of one of the very opening scene where he's like just adrift.
Yeah, just absolutely, just wrecked.
What if he's
Literally.
getting ready to try to deliver? Let's say this is the ice planet, and he's been trying to take the child to Ilum.
Oh no, it wouldn't catch on fire in an ice planet.
Here we go. Let's just assume
No, it would. I was just
he's
joking.
trying to get to Ilum or somewhere.
Because an ice planet would be cold.
And I got the joke. He's trying to get there, and the New Republic X-Wings are helping him, and then they get blown to bits by whoever, and that's why the Razor Crest is in such bad shape to start the film, or start the trailer, and now it's finally falling into atmosphere. Who knows?
Maybe.
We're walking into an arena.
I like that they have the flags up there. It looks kind of like
Maz's castle.
Yeah.
I
I like the puffy shorts.
Yeah.
Very Victorian.
Very, man, these are like featherweight Gamorreans.
Twiggy dudes.
They are little piggies. These little piggies cried wee wee wee.
So I've heard.
Okay, let's
Isn't
talk
that
about this
Cyclops
guy.
character?
Freaking, there's a character from the Cantina whose name is Myo, M-Y-O, and he's a character like this.
He's actually a very prominent energy drink tycoon. Have you heard of his stuff?
Mio?
Mio Energy?
That's so funny. And I'm pretty sure that in the From a Certain Point of View book, when they're in the Cluehorn Cantina Caper,
Don't remind me.
I think that he's in there, and he's the guy that's like, I don't know. Like he has a fighting problem. This guy seems more intelligent. And he says, no place for a
And then
child.
the Jolly Green Giant says, draw your weapons.
Right? He's the one that says, this is no place for a child. Din Djarin says, wherever I go, he goes.
This guy's got the forebrow of a troglodyte.
And this guy says, I know. And you got 3 thugs drawing their blades, whistling birds.
The child knowing exactly what to do.
The child closes the cradle. Death on death on death on death on
The
death.
Foley artists really outdoing themselves there.
And then, man, if you look at it, it looks like the stands have been freaking cleared here. This is probably much later in that same episode. But killing a Dathomirian warrior here very much looks like a Night Brother. Not that he is, but that's definitely what they look like.
Yeah, he doesn't have the ceremonial tattoos. He looks like those dinosaurs that used to butt heads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't even know what they're called because we called them bonk heads our whole life.
Yeah.
You know what I really hope is, I've always wanted to see Boba Fett do this, but I hope, oh, look at this guy rising from the dead. I really hope that this knife that he throws into this dude's chest is, a Vibrant Blade would be sick, and I also hope he pulls it from, like, his shin guard. Because when you're watching Boba Fett, he always has those little knickknacks in his shins, but we never get to see him use them.
This is the way.
Let me see if I can find that ice planet from the very beginning. There's somewhere
Looks
where
like it could be an ice planet.
there's somewhere where he's when he's
This
first
little
walking into that
green-
cave, it's like maybe it's this.
It's right after this.
It looks like there's
It
a
talks about the battle between Jedi.
right.
Where?
This you must
See how
determine.
much smaller that bantha is?
So,
So here's the ice
The
planet.
songs of eons
yeah, looks like he's
past
flying into that crevice.
tell of battle.
See, look, there's the Razor Crest, and it's all shot to heck. See, there's a giant tear right there on the side. This is all crumpled. This is all messed up. So they crash on whatever that planet is.
The way you're describing it reminds me of that sea urchin in Surf's Up where he's like, look at this, broken, broken, broken.
I
Talking
haven't
about
seen
his,
Surf's Up in forever.
talking about his little spines.
Between Mandalore the Great and an order of
There's that dadgum fish backpack. Pretty cool. Did
sorcerers called Jedi.
I miss it?
Is that like,
You expect me to search the galaxy and deliver this creature to a race of enemy sorcerers?
I need water to survive. A system
This
that
is
just
the
kind of puts
way.
water on your body. Fishing boat.
You know this is no place for a child.
Where I go, he goes.
So I've heard.
I think also that the guy that says, so I've heard, I think that's Jon Favreau.
makes sense.
I'm looking for that. Maybe I just saw a picture of it from something.
We've watched all the Ice Planet clips. There's only
Dang, I really thought
Show me
that.
the one
Talks about
safety
what-
deemed such
Right,
destruction.
and the Jedi
Okay.
go to the ice caves.
Dang, I must have missed it. Or I must have been reading something somewhere. But, so this has to be Tatooine, right? Because Jawas made it off-world, but I don't see Tuskens doing that because everything they do is sacred.
Yeah.
They wouldn't leave there. Unless God told them to. Dude, it's this little place here.
Songs of eons past tell of battles between
Eons.
Mandalore the Great.
But that's the trailer, and that's the kind of the breakdown. It's really not really as much of a breakdown as it is like our thoughts kind of thing.
What else is there, really?
So by the time this comes out, it'll be September 21st, And
Tomorrow.
that means that we have a month and 9 days till episode 1 of Mandalorian Season 2. So, I'm excited. There's so much going on. And last season we did get at least 2 trailers. And so I'm interested to see.
Some more to drop.
I'm interested to see if there's going to be another one.
There's enough time.
Let's see. 2 trailers? Yeah. A TV spot or something? Very, very cool. Anything stand out to you now that we broke it down that you didn't see before?
I think we covered most of the stuff that I thought about. The only thing that was really like, I would be really excited would be if they would kind of touch on the Mandalore, the Great Arc. You know, because that's Revan's history. It would kind of reattach the... I mean, that's kind of, in my mind, the greatest intersection of the Jedi and the Mandalorians.
Yeah. I think that in canon material, the greatest interaction between the Mandalorians and the Jedi would be Tar Vizsla, the creator of the Darksaber. So you could be going to whatever planet the Jedi Temple was on that he was a part of, if it wasn't Coruscant, you know what I mean? I've also wondered how that works. You know, in Star Wars Rebels, there's a Jedi Temple on Lothal. There's obviously some kind of a facility on Ilum and stuff like that. I wonder...
Look at that one on Jeddah.
Oh, yeah. That was like a super, super old one. But it does make me wonder, like, how does... By the time of the prequels, the Jedi Council basically is on Coruscant 24/7 if they're not off doing something. Like, that's home base. So, would other temples just be specifically for training, specifically for knowledge, specifically...
Well, I think...
Or are they all kind of shut down and everybody's just functioning out of that one?
The one in Ilum specifically was designed for the ice caves fighting the Kyber crystals.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that was definitely a very specialized one. It seems like the one on Jeddah was also very Kyber-oriented. It just seems like they were kind of trying to dominate and police the areas that had resources that were significant to the Jedi.
Right. It's also interesting because it would be cool if that was Ilum, if you go into the caves and it's been like strip mined.
Well, and it would
because that would be because they stole a bunch of Kyber for the Death Star.
It would be the first time that we would have seen Baby Yoda interact somewhere that was highly force sensitive.
Oh man,
you know what I mean?
Cool. Yeah.
That maybe he would have a force vision, or that through his connection with the child, Mando would have a force vision.
Yeah, it's very interesting because I'm very curious to see like what the development of his personality is as far as
being more of a father figure.
No, I'm talking about the child. I want to see what his his evolution of as he grows. Right now he's not helpless because he has the Force, but he is he's not able to communicate really. He's a baby, right? But if we look at I don't know, the timeline's all messed up for me because I think in human terms
it just seems to me like it would be inconsistent with
Yoda's timeline,
with the kind of timeline that they've already established for the child, that he's sentient but barely able to communicate, barely able to process, and he's 50 years old. Right. It doesn't make sense to me that he would automatically just have like the comprehension power of a an adult
for sure.
Overnight.
And that's why I guess what I mean is, okay, High Republic book coming out in January. It's 400 years before the prequels, which means that Yoda is between 400 and 500 years old, right? And they say that he's at his prime, and he's a journeyman, and he's like, big boss. So if he's 400, and the child is 50, so he's 1/8 of his age. So I guess if your prime is 30, then 1/8 of that is, less than 4. I don't know. I just feel like I know that's like human year math or whatever, but I feel like he should be able to communicate more than just like... But I get that the cuteness sells.
I mean, Yoda could barely speak English, so...
I mean, yes. But...
maybe it's just part of the species.
It also makes me wonder will the focus of this season, we got so much Mandalorian lore last season.
Maybe some secret Jedi lore.
Will it shift to Jedi this season because the focus... It's interesting. The show's called The Mandalorian, but the focus is on the child, if you really think about it.
Well,
Everything in the whole season last season was, what are we doing to protect the child?
The interesting thing in that regard is also that most of the interaction we saw that wasn't just third party was with the Empire. That the Empire is very much like the overarching villain.
Right.
And so we're seeing more already in the trailers as far as the involvement of the New Republic.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that interaction develops, other than just being like indifferent towards the New Republic or trying to skirt around them. You know what I mean? That they're either going to become an ally as he, finds out about Luke, or they're going to become like the new enemy somehow.
Oh, don't even get me started on if they use Luke.
It'd be cool.
I don't even know how they do that.
I guess they would do it like they did it in...
With Tarkin?
No, with young Luke, young Leia.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, the guy that played the Knight of Ren Aplek, which is the guy that has the hood and the Mandalorian battle axe. He, Luca Zilong, I want to say is his name. I've actually talked to him a little bit on Instagram. Seems like a nice guy. He's the one that played
the body double
for Luke Skywalker, young Luke. So
it would be cool. I mean, they've got the technology. They
have the tech,
resources.
And that's
Mark Hamill would be all the way on board.
Yeah. He could do a voice, and they could... You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He could do a voice, and if they need to pull some age back a little bit, they definitely could. Man, who knows? That would be crazy. But I would be all the way for it.
I mean, who knows? Maybe they could even, reproduce young Leia. You know what I mean? Because she's supposed to be force sensitive. She's training as a Jedi. And she would be more out there.
And her daughter, Carrie Fisher's daughter, was the girl that played young Leia. Mm-hmm. And she was able to do some pretty cool fighting. I was impressed because obviously Luca, the guy that's the Knight of Ren / young Luke, he's a professional
martial artist,
stunt double kind of guy. So for her to be able to not look like an idiot with him around was very cool. Mm-hmm. And because all this stuff is in-house, it's like we don't have to hire some crazy company to help us come in and do this.
Right.
Disney owns Industrial Lights and Magic, which is what started in 1977. Has been pushing the envelope in technology ever since.
And the good thing is that Disney hasn't been shortchanging The Mandalorian either, as far as the resources that it gives to it. Everything has been done
I think they know that The Mandalorian is the best thing that they've come up with Star Wars-wise since the purchase of the franchise. Yeah. And it's also the best thing that they've come up with on Disney+.
Right. Well, to me, it seems like they would do themselves a service to keep as little of the original trilogy characters in it as they can.
Right.
Because trying to rewrite that is really what got them in hot water.
Right.
So,
J.J. Abrams made a really good point.
Stay off of it as much as possible.
Right. Yeah, the chances of us actually getting Luke and Leia are very slim.
Because their third-party status is what has served them so well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like a whole blank slate.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And J.J. Abrams made a really good point. He said, I was personally disappointed with Luke's involvement in Episode 7, but because I'm trying to establish Rey and Kylo specifically as Force users, it really made it hard on the story if Luke comes in any earlier than the very end reveal, which I thought was kind of whack. But if they let J.J. Abrams do all three movies, then he could have been super cool in 8 and 9, and I don't think that he would have died.
Yeah.
But obviously he didn't know what Rian Johnson's idea was. And they've talked about, we didn't know what was we knew the plan the whole time was this, this, and this, but recent interviews with Daisy Ridley proved that wrong, because they asked, how long did you know that you were Palpatine's granddaughter? And she was like, as they were filming, JJ said, Obi-Wan is the grandfather. Oh, never mind, you are nobody. That's the empowerment of anybody can be used by the Force. And then it was Palpatine is your grandfather. And it was, well, we're not sure. Yeah. And then they shot all this stuff. So I think that if JJ could have done all three and just established Luke, that would have been great. But I agree, back to The Mandalorian, it's very, very tough to bring in a legacy character like that especially Luke Skywalker, because some of those fans out there
the
want another
expectations
chance
are
for Luke.
automatically going to be much higher.
They want another chance for Luke to do something crazy.
Well, and they're going to have their own ideas about what should happen if that happens. You know what I mean?
Right.
So unless everything goes
perfect
exactly
scenario,
like they want it to, which it never will,
Right.
there's going to be let down.
The perfect scenario for a Luke character is a Rogue One Vader scene where he comes in, does something fantastic, and then that's all you get from him.
Yeah.
And it would be satisfying. It would be fan service. It would be fun to see Luke in his prime. Not in his prime, but like, you know, a stronger Force user. I mean, 5 years later.
I would just love to see what George Lucas had in mind with now technology. You know what I mean? Because he had like grand visions for the duel between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, or, you know, in Jedi or in Empire even. But with like the type of technology that produced the fight scenes that we have in Revenge of the Sith specifically.
Right.
You know what I mean? It would just be cool to be able to put that on film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very interesting concept. So we'll see. Man, we can speculate all day. I would love to see... so it looks like we're going to get Boba Fett. So do you still think in episode 5 of season 1, they're on Tatooine, and Mandalorian supposedly kills... I can't remember her character's name, but that woman in the desert, and at the very end you get the static sound and the spurs that you get from Empire Strikes Back with Boba Fett. Do you now think that because we almost for sure know Boba's going to be in season 2 as Tamir Morrison, do you think that was him at the end, or do you think that that's Cobb Vanth and we've got to get Boba his armor back kind of thing?
I don't know. I feel like maybe it's Boba Fett. I think it would be too much of Boba Fett's character on Cobb Vanth to give him Boba's sound effects as well. Because as far as we know, he only reclaimed the armor, which would have just basically been the waist up for the most part. You know what I mean?
So it could still be his
spur
boots.
sound, yeah.
Very interesting.
I don't think he would have worn the cape either.
The strongest leather in the history of the world. Digested, still good.
Well, apparently a Sarlacc sucks at digesting stuff because it takes him 1,000 years.
That's a really good point.
Can you imagine how much Tums he would have to invest in?
Yeah, imagine. Yeah, we're thinking about the way we digest things, and it's like, man, when it comes out, if I eat a hot Cheeto, you know it's a hot Cheeto on the other end in 35 minutes.
My biggest hang-up for all of Jedi was always that, and you'll feel the pain of being digested for 1,000 years. And I was like, he would die in 3 days with no water.
Right. And they serve you meals to keep you just enough alive to feel the pain. But even still.
But it's gruel and it sucks.
Yeah.
The butler's a real douche.
The butler?
Yeah. This guy buttling inside the Sarlacc.
Dude, if I was Boba Fett, I'd be worried about when I get in there being beat up by all the people I punked that fell in there before me. Like, you know, when Boba Fett walks into Jabba's palace, he's like, yeah, clean my dirty underwear. Yeah. Hey,
chin tickle,
dude, the little
chicks.
The little chin tickle is even more disgusting when you look up the total weirdo that's wearing the armor. Have you seen that guy's picture? It looks like Adolf Hitler under there with like a disgusting 80s mustache.
I've seen a meme where it was saying how Boba Fett's all this big bad, and then it's a picture of him, you know, holding his helmet.
Yeah.
In between takes, and he's like, but he also looks like a guy who would say, "Howdy doodly, neighborino."
Neighborino. That's so funny. But man, we're just over a month away from another season of The Mandalorian, and as much as I want them to send it all at once like Netflix does, I do like the week by week munchy munch.
It gives me time to digest the episode all at once.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it gives us the opportunity to fight the urge to do a Mandalorian episode every single week.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll end up, I don't know, we can consider doing bonus content and having side review episodes of those. But we'll cross that bridge in a few weeks.
Yep.
But that's our breakdown for the Mandalorian trailer. Hopefully we get another one, and that'd be amazing. So stay tuned, and don't forget the Force will be with you always.
And, you know, it's a good idea to keep in mind that wherever you go, the only family you have yet is me.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week.